Hello and welcome to the We Are Humanitarians Hero Panel. I'm Holly with the American Red Cross, and I am so excited to help share these inspiring Red Cross hero stories. And I cannot wait for everyone joining us today to hear directly from you, our heroes. So our viewers may have already gotten a little bit of a glimpse of the actions of this group, but I'd love to begin with each of you sharing your own story in your own words. So let's start with our military hero, Akbar of Chicago.
Hey, thanks, Holly. And yeah, my name is Akbar. I served in the Navy for a few years. I work for an organization called the Travis Manning Foundation. And during my work, I had the opportunity to start a pop-up food distribution that serves the veteran community and the larger community at large. And last year, we were able to distribute over 100,000 pounds of food.
Wow, so inspiring, such amazing work helping our veterans. Thank you, Akbar. Our next hero is Lynn Eamon of Springfield. She is an essential services hero who is also being recognized for her outstanding work in providing food resources. Lynn, please introduce yourself for us.
Hi, yes, my name is Lynn, and I built several micro pantries throughout the community in Springfield, and also encouraged a lot of other micro pantries to be set out, and then we manage them and keep them safe and fill them. And a lot of people in our community are using them. Food scarcity is scary, and we're trying to address it.
So thank you so much, Lynn. So great to hear from you. And now moving over to Chef Q, Ibrahim of Evanston, a disaster services hero we're very proud to recognize. If you would introduce yourself for us, please.
Hi, my name is Chef Q, Ibrahim. I am a disaster relief hero. And I started an organization a week into the pandemic called Kids with Coworkers, where we figured a way to partner with local organizations to get healthy meals and create farm-to-table meals for families that were financially impacted by COVID-19.
Excellent. We're so grateful to have you here with us, Chef Q.
Thank
And
you,
finally, yes, thank you. And then finally, we have Esther Linder of Chicago, who also had an intense year as well. She is an essential services hero. So Esther, please share with us a little bit of your story.
Thank you, Holly, and it's so great to be here. I work for the Lakeview Pantry, and we had launched the first of its kind online market, and it is designed for families who work multiple jobs or families with small children that can have the ease of access to come pick out an order that they had placed online with our pantry and to pick up that, and can also choose what they want based on their children's specific dietary needs or wants.
Well, thank you all so much for being here today and for all that you've done and continue to do in your communities. It really highlights a big need in so many of our communities, which is food insecurity. Now, although it has been an ongoing issue in the United States with nearly 13% of households experiencing this, as the pandemic swept across the nation, that percentage climbed to nearly 25% in 2020. And out of those households, there were 5 million children. So thankfully, there are people like you, people like our heroes, who see the need and decided to do something about it. So with all that's going on in the pandemic, the limitation of resources, I wanted to know from each of you, what inspired you to do something and give back in this way? And we will start with Esther for this question.
Holly, we wanted to target those multi-working families who also work multiple jobs in order to make ends meet. We also wanted to focus on families with children who do not have the luxury of time, where they aren't able to spend the amount of time needed to stand in a line and wait for food to be given. So with all that knowledge, we wanted to come up with a faster way where especially with some of the families who don't necessarily live close by to us, to our pantry, where they will know ahead of time exactly what they would be getting, and they would be able to order what they want, being able to empower them with the ability to choose exactly what they want to meet the needs of their families and their kids' particular taste buds as well.
Right, it's such a difficult thing sometimes with kids. So that's really such an amazing way to meet them directly with their needs. So thank you, Esther, so much. Now, Chef Q, you also saw the effects of this pandemic and felt them yourself as well. So what was it that inspired you to start up this work that you've done and take this action?
I partner with at least 5 to 6 local organizations that are youth organizations. And dealing with the demographic, I'm around the children, I'm around their families, I meet the moms and the aunts and the extended family members that pick these children up, and we break bread and we eat together. When this happened, I knew that the families that I work with would be directly affected. So it was really important to make sure these are our future decision makers, to make sure that they had healthy food. The population and the demographic has the highest numbers are our Black and Brown community. And it was really important to make sure that they were getting immune boosting foods to just help them out during this time.
Absolutely. That is such incredible words and so true. And we've seen all communities be affected in these ways. And then the need for food is just so universal. The need is there always. So we'll move over to Akbar. You've personally been involved with veterans and you've worked closely with them. So what got you inspired to take up your action and work in this specific way?
Absolutely. So when back in April of last year, when we started the distribution, I was actually 3 months removed from the Navy. I'd gotten out about 3 months before then. So what inspired me initially was this idea that, a lot of my best friends and a lot of my brothers and sisters in service are still active and they're still serving. And I wanted to continue that mindset of service never stops. But what's continued to inspire me are the volunteers that come and support and make each distribution a reality. I mean, it's time and time again, folks from, the veteran community, but also just Chicago citizens as well come out to help distribute the food to the families in need, and seeing that every month and seeing the community that's been built around helping others, it's given me a lot of faith and a lot of, excitement about the future, and it's kept me inspired.
That's great. I think we've heard a common theme here of people working together with partners and the people around them and being able to do these amazing things. And Lynn, I think you can speak to that as well, because you've really gotten to get people together and really made some incredible changes in your community. So you can share more with us about what got you inspired to take the next step and do even more with your micro pantries.
I think what the initial thing that happened that started to get me concerned was when it was a Friday and I knew they were going to call school off that following Monday. And I was very, very concerned with the number of students in our community in particular that count on breakfast and lunch at school. That might be the only meals they get a day. And so I was super concerned about that. And then someone created, like you said, a Facebook page called Springfield Families Helping Families. And there's probably 18,000 members in that group now. And all it does is hooks people up with people who can help. If they need help changing a tire, or they need food, or they need, whatever, that's where my motivation came from to help. Actually, my help has morphed over time. I've done lots of different things, lots of different ways to get food to people, but it ended up being raising $20,000 and building 14 micro pantries, and lots of other people have followed suit and put their own out as well. And the community is familiar with it, and we talk about it all the time on the news and in the paper, and just trying to get all the notification out there, because as a group of 60, we can't do it. We need the community for sure to be involved. So that's what we work toward.
That's amazing. And it really shows that one spark can make such a big difference in getting collective action. And I think that's what we have in all of you. You guys are all the sparks that really created more amazing action in these communities. So that's really exceptional. Thank you everyone so much. It's been so inspiring to talk to you all. It's been so great to hear a little bit more directly from you about your hero story. So we want to just end with some final nuggets of knowledge. If you could leave our viewers with one thought, a comment, or a piece of advice after all we've seen this year, what would that be? And I'll start with Chef Q.
look at your circle. There are so many people that are your friends for a reason. We partnered with one of our partners, Youth Opportunity United, and you have this circle of friends that are usually very willing to help you out. I would just say partnerships, and reach out to people that you know. Most people are so willing to help. I would have never thought a community would have stepped in the way they did, but I've never had to ask. You know, you don't know until you actually ask, and that word community is huge because that's exactly what people become. You know, reach out to your people.
Excellent words of advice. And Akbar, what would you add to that?
So I'd add two things. One is part of the mission of the Travis Manning Foundation is to help veterans find a sense of well-being and thriving, and those tenets are universal to everyone. So part of that is service to others directly correlates with their level of well-being and thriving. So if you're listening and you're looking to increase some of that level of well-being that you have, service will definitely help. And if you're wanting to do a project like all of the wonderful ones we've heard about today, starting small and again, starting with your circle is extremely important. And, you know, you can't really go anywhere unless you take the first step. So, but again, thank you.
Thank you, Akbar. Great words of advice. Starting with those first steps are amazing. So, Esther, let's hear from you. What are your final words of advice?
Holly, I hope that anyone who's listening feels inspired to do what excites them, and to be able to support their own community in any way that they can. Anything that is meaningful to them, they should be able to go out and volunteer to help further the cause.
Excellent words. That's really what gets a lot of people's motivation, is that this work is meaningful. What you're doing is meaningful. And we'll end with Lynn, who has done so much meaningful work. What piece of advice would you have for our viewers?
So I think the advice that I try to leave people with is, if you can help, if there's any way that you can help, you should be helping. There are so, I mean, I had no idea before this pandemic started that people were living the way that they were living before this happened. And then when this happened, my goodness, my eyes are wide open. I think a lot of people's eyes are wide open, and I think you will never know the answer to a question you don't ask. And I ask everyone for everything. And that's, you know, you just have to, you get 10 no's and maybe one yes is the one that you need. So it's, if you can help, you should, and you should ask everybody else if they can help too.
And thank you so much, Lynn, for sharing your insights. And I want to thank all of you again for your time and your unwavering commitment to your communities. This past year has shown us that in these difficult times, there are helpers. They're the heroes that walk among us, and we're proud to recognize you as our heroes. It's been an honor to meet and talk with you here today, and thank you to our audience for joining us today as well. Please wait momentarily, and you'll soon be returned to the main Heroes event.